Good afternoon and welcome to the Midday News. Here's what we have in the bulletin. 6 shot to fatally Norwood St. James despite SOE. Local government minister says he was set up with announcement of Portmore market location. And later in sports, former CONCACAF president Jack Warner loses extradition battle. Thanks for joining us. I'm Shane Masters and here are the details. 2 persons are dead and several others injured following a gun attack in Norwood St. James on Wednesday. Among the injured is a 9-month-old baby. Shamala Pullen has the details.
There's a tense calm on Haga Street in Norwood St. James. Police and soldiers were seen patrolling the area Thursday morning. This followed last night's deadly attack by gunmen at a shop minutes after 8 Wednesday evening, in which 2 persons died. They've been identified as 31-year-old Delano Christie, shopkeeper from Norwood, and 26-year-old Jordan Brown, unemployed from the same area. According to reports, Mr. Christie was at his shop along with a group of persons. They were playing a game when they were approached by 2 armed men. The men then opened fire on them. When the shooting ended, it was discovered that Mr. Christie and Mr. Brown were shot. They were taken to hospital where both were pronounced dead. The others were admitted in serious condition. This includes a 9-month-old baby. Residents are tight-lipped about the incident.
I live here from in the 70s and everything is everything. So what's going on, I just don't know as an elder. You get me? Me just don't know. Me only like they're here and
how you feel about it?
I don't feel good. Feel bad because my community and me is a pioneer and I don't feel good about it. But at the same time, it's like me in the dark. We just don't know what they're going.
Some have expressed fear and concern.
We just want more police in my place and, police can socialize with everybody. It have more better for you right now. You understand? Mm-hmm. Because you them, I don't know if you might take bribe or what, I don't know. But something wrong. We have to fix it. You understand? We have to fix it.
No. One thing I have to say, everything what they go on, it's not caused by the elder. It's caused by the younger set.
A state of public emergency was recently imposed in St. James. Residents are concerned as the shooting is not far from one of the SOE checkpoints. Shamala Pullen, TVJ News.
Over 1,300 murders recorded on the island so far this year, and a state of emergency announced for the 3rd time in Montego Bay, St. James. Now, the president of the Montego Bay Chamber of Commerce and Industry, Oral Heaven, acknowledges that the crime rate across the island is too high. However, he believes the country needs a long-term solution to reducing crime.
We're asking the powers that be the government to come to the table. There are a number of things that we can use to fight crime. It's not about the state of public emergency only. There are other things, there are other arsenals there that we can use. So we're encouraging the leaders, the powers that be, to employ those means, those measures to help to fight crime and also to reduce and sustain that reduction in crime.
He's recommending social transformation, among other things.
If people don't have anything to do, they more than likely move towards criminality. So having social transformation is important. Also, the Enhanced Security Measures Act I mentioned that come the different measures, that too will help as it relates to sustainable crime fighting, create a sustainable reduction in crime.
In August, the multi-agency operation dubbed Operation Reset was launched in Montego Bay to restore order to the area. Now, Mr. Heaven says that initiative will continue. The local government minister and the leadership of the Portmore Municipal Corporation are seemingly at odds about initial arrangements for a market in the municipality. It has again raised questions about plans for Portmore to be declared a parish, but government members insist that plan will go ahead. Details in this report. The Portmore Municipal Corporation is this afternoon being taken to task for what is being termed a setup. It comes after local government minister Desmond McKenzie in March made an announcement regarding the possible location for the market in Portmore. Mr. Mackenzie says he was invited on a tour of the possible location in Gregory Park by the leadership of the corporation.
Only for me to hear residents, the Citizens Association, putting out a release saying that them don't understand how I could be making an announcement about the market at that particular location, when for years they have been meeting with the municipality and have raised objections to the construction of a market at the said location that them carry me got on food.
He says that action by the corporation was unbecoming.
That only goes to show you that they are not genuine. We are not going to do anything unless the community, the people, buy into what we are going to do, because what we're doing is for the benefit of the people.
In the meantime, Dr. Andrew Wheatley is adamant that Portmore will become Jamaica's 15th parish despite the setbacks.
It is coming. It is coming. We have started the work. We anticipate tabling the bill shortly, and then we'll finalize the whole process of establishing Portmore as Jamaica's 15th parish. But when we establish Portmore as Jamaica's 15th parish, we have to ensure labor rights that we take control of the Portmore Municipal Corporation.
Meanwhile, Portmore's Mayor Leon Thomas says he will not address the statement made by Minister Mackenzie regarding the market at this time. And it's time for a break here on the Midday News, but please stay with us. More stories when we return. Welcome back to the Midday News. At least one stakeholder in the coffee industry is urging farmers to put greater focus on improving soil nutrition as part of efforts to increase production. Agronomist at the Jamaica Agricultural Commodities Regulation Authority, JACRA, Louis Campbell, says it is critical that farmers conduct soil analysis to determine the nutritional quality of the soil. He was speaking at a coffee farmers training session in Mango Grove, St. Thomas on Wednesday.
I know as a fact that Ferguson had done a survey of the soils in the Blue Mountain, and they have come up with a general recommendation for different soil types, for different zones. That is very good and is a first step. But for an individual farm, there's a need to get some basic idea as to what is the inherent nutrients in the soil. What is there? Then you will know what to add, or much to add, to make the plants have enough to carry it from flowering to ripening.
Mr. Campbell is also encouraging farmers to utilize trenches or barrier in areas where there are gentle slopes.
Cook banana chunk, and that will prevent when the rain is falling and the water is running, it will block, and this soil won't wash away as quickly as if there's no hindrance for it. Just wash your topsoil, and which includes your fertilizer, to the gullies, and then cause negative impacts downstream.
$1.8 billion has been invested into 2 new beverage lines by Wisynco Group Limited. According to Chairman William Mafood, it is expected to boost production by at least 35%. Codian Barrett tells us more.
Wisynco has been operating in Jamaica for 75 years. During a tour of the Wisynco Group's manufacturing plants in St. Catherine last week, Minister of Industry, Investment and Commerce, Aubin Hill, said from distribution to manufacturing, it's now time for members of the Jamaica Manufacturers and Exporters Association, JMEA, to capitalize on the country's export opportunities.
I really want to see you and your fellow businesses in the Jamaica Manufacturers and Exporters Association take on export. Pull down, we have a $4.5 billion US gap in our export. In other words, we import 5.975 billion and we export 1.441. Therefore, there's a $4.5 billion gap. It is entrepreneurs.
And it seems Wisynco is on the same page. Wisynco Group's chairman, William Mafood, says the company is focusing on how to build brand Jamaica internationally.
Jamaica as a country has a tremendous brand internationally. And Wisynco has recognized the opportunities with that brand and with our production. So we're focused very, very intensely on building our exports. The minister, highlighted it. For the last couple of years, it's one of the areas that I've focused on a lot. And I think you'll see in the next year or two, and in the short term, you'll see some announcements coming out of opportunities for us in exports and the international markets.
So far, 1,800 persons have been employed, along with 450 contracted truckers, with an additional 50,000 square feet of space to the east of the 360,000 square foot Lake Spend facility to accommodate the incoming machines. It is expected that millions will be pumped into the economy. The company also operates a 170,000 square foot plant at White Marl for a total of 530,000 square feet of factory and warehouse space. Cody Barrett, TVJ News.
And it's now time for the Business Minute.
In the world of finance, VM Investments earned less profit in its third quarter ended September compared to last year. Profit post-tax amounted to $84.1 million against $347.8 million for the similar period last year. VM Investments says net fees and commissions, which came in lower at $227.7 million, affected its profit performance. Revenues for the period also saw a decline, coming in at $465 million. For the same period last year, the investment company made $817.64 million. The investment company says unstable market conditions, both locally and internationally, were the primary cause of its 75.8% decline in net earnings for the quarter. In business overseas, British Finance Minister Jeremy Hunt announced a string of tax increases and tighter public spending in a tough budget plan on Thursday. He said it was needed after the blow dealt to the country's fiscal reputation by former Prime Minister Liz Truss. Hunt announced changes to tax rules that will mean more people pay basic income tax, a lower threshold for paying the top rate of income tax, and a cut in tax-free allowances for earnings from dividends. He froze until 2028, a threshold at which employers must start to pay Social Security contributions, meaning companies will have to pay more. That's it for the Business Minute. I'm Cody Barrett.
For the top regional and international stories, we join Sandy Williams.
In the region, a new study by scientists at the University of Miami suggests that ships may be spreading a deadly coral disease across Florida and the Caribbean. The scientists say stony coral tissue loss disease destroys the soft tissue of at least 22 species of reef-building corals, killing them within weeks or months of becoming infected. The disease was first observed near Miami in 2014 and has since spread throughout all of Florida's coral reef and into the Caribbean, including in waters of Jamaica, St. Martin, U.S. Virgin Islands, and Belize. Still, the findings by scientists at the University of Miami could help establish testing and treatment methods to mitigate the risk of further disease spread. On the international scene, the U.S. Food and Drug Administration, FDA, says Adderall users can expect to see more challenges in getting their prescriptions filled for a while longer. The FDA says that the shortage of Adderall, which is primarily used to treat attention deficit and hyperactivity disorders, should only last for the next 30 to 60 days. They also say that there has been a surging demand for the drug as well as intermittent manufacturing delays at Teva Pharmaceuticals. But doctors say that a lack of access to Adderall can have serious implications for careers, home lives, and even safety. And those were the top regional and international stories. I'm Sandy Williams.
We head to a quick break. When we come back, Renata Brown will have your midday sports report.